Hey guys, Condor here. We're back playing some more War Thunder. Now this is another post commentary, and in this video I am talking about, sort of doing a slight review, not really a review, but just, a video about the F4F-3. Now, this plane, I actually was tempted to fly it, not, because, I enjoy it, well, I actually kind of do enjoy flying it now, but I was intended to fly it because my friend thought it was terrible. And I was like, you know what, I bet I can do well with that plane. Got like a pilot sniper right there. So, didn't really bother talking about that. It's just a lucky kill just to start this first game off. But my friend was convinced that this was like the worst plane, in the American tree. Just in general, he just thought it was terrible. And, like the OS2U or whatever. But let's be real. So yeah, I mean, he just like didn't know how to fly it, and honestly, I really understand why, because this plane is not particularly good. I mean, it has certain strengths for its BR that, are good, and then some that are just absolutely treacherous. Like, this plane is a 2.3 battle rating, so you can fight, anything up to Focke 490 A1s, which just pretty much outclasses aircraft in every way. It is a naval fighter, and it does have the clipped wings, so it can roll really well, and its elevator is pretty decent, but this plane is kind of a piece of junk. It's a really heavy aircraft with a not very powerful engine, and it can actually dive fairly well. Like, it can dive considerably well, like almost as well as the Hellcat, I would say. But, after 600, it starts to compress a little bit, but you can't expect much out of a very, very early war naval fighter. Now, it's armed with 4 50 cal Browning machine guns with, I believe, 1,400 rounds of ammunition. Similar to the Buffalo, but I believe a little more ammo. As you can see, I was having some trouble with the convergence right there. They ended up shooting, around the fuselage of the plane, but I still managed to catch that Hurricane on fire. And then, taking it back, turning all that speed into altitude again so that I could be able to dive on another plane. Because with this plane, energy is so important. It is vital. You really have to know how to use your energy if you want to do well in this plane. Now, I saw Spitfire was below me. He tried to turn up, so I decided to pull a inverted, loop to drop back down on him. I was just about to stall. I knew he was really low on energy, and I just dove on him and set him on fire. That was not the smartest move. I mean, the Spitfire can certainly, retain its energy fairly well in the vertical, but it didn't have enough energy, and I barely had enough to avoid the shots and turn back down onto him. So that was my 3rd kill in this match, and then once again taking what little speed I have back into the vertical to gain some more energy, and so that I can dive on another aircraft. I mean, this plane can turn fairly well, but it does a lot better when you have an altitude advantage over your enemy, because once you lose your altitude, it's real problem trying to regain it. So I saw this Typhoon right here. I was turning up to make sure he couldn't, zoom up to me and put some shots into me, because he does have 12 7.7s. So, just once again turning to dive on him. Now, I actually get shot right there, which was really lucky that I just happened to turn my wing slightly, because if I hadn't, my wing probably would have gotten shot off. But he is occupied with another aircraft, and I managed to set him on fire. Now, the Typhoon that had dove on me was now above me, and I tried, to turn my dive speed back into altitude and maybe catch him by surprise, but he began to turn down, and at low speeds, this thing's elevator really kind of kicks ass, so I was able to loop so he couldn't get any guns on target. Then once he started to pull up, I decided to dive away, so I would not be dove on again, because at that point I had lost almost all of my energy, and I was just trying to escape so that, he couldn't get an easy kill while I was at low energy. So he's once again diving on me. Now, the Typhoon is also a great diver, so I just decided to turn underneath him. He gets a small hit right there. Then I just pull up, force him to overshoot, and my teammates are now both on him. I put a couple shots in there right here. And I could have actually probably lit him on fire if those shots had hit the fuselage and not the tail. But he quickly pulls away because his plane is way faster than mine. And he was the last guy, and my teammates set him on fire, and he went down. So that was pretty much the end of the first match. I mean, after that, you know, I just sort of flew around. But yeah. Another thing about this plane is really weird. Is like when you roll, so you know how a lot of planes, once you're upside down, it kind of pulls down a little bit. This plane really doesn't do that at all. It's like pretty good when you roll. But yeah, I was checking out this guy's player card because I saw he had like this Champion of War tag. And I'd never seen that before. It turns out he was a pretty good player. And then I saw this A20G shoot at me, and I was like, "You what, mate? I'm gonna wreck you." But I made sure not to like kill him until like the battle's over, because you know that'd be a dick move. But yeah, I just gave him a little love tap right here. Just a little love tap, nothing serious. But yeah, I ended up with, I believe, 4 kills, one pretty lucky one on the Wellington, 3 crits, 36k lions, quite a bit of XP, but yeah, that was the end of the first battle. Now, in the second battle, I was in a similar BR game, except my team was a lot lower. I had 2 gladiators, an F2A, and I believe another F4F. And these gladiators, I'm pretty sure were arcade players because they were trying to cap B by landing on it, and I was just flabbergasted. But as you can see, I climbed up to about 3k, which is pretty much as high as this plane will ever get, even on the larger maps. And I saw a KI-45 up above me, so I decided to cut my engine and hopefully cause it to cool down so I'm no longer overheating. Trying to go flat to gain some speed so that maybe I'll be able to zoom climb. I pull up and he pulled down, and I'm able to win this head on by dodging his shots and taking his wing off. So that was my first kill of the battle. Just checking the x-ray to make sure my engine wasn't damaged, because if this engine dies, then this plane falls like a brick out of the sky. So then I spotted the KI-43 in front of me. I saw someone get shot down over at A, so I was just checking to see if I could spot the dot, but I could not. So I see this KI-43 underneath me, and this plane is pretty much like the one plane that can just absolutely wreck me because it's a really light aircraft and it's maneuverable. But he made the mistake of going vertical when I was diving on him, and I just easily lit him on fire right there, and he was dead. So if he had actually been on equal altitude with me, he easily could have killed me, because that plane is fast and maneuverable, and there would be nothing I would be able to do to kill it. Other than maybe make it rip. I mean, I could probably dive away. People of this tier, you know, often rip their wings in aircraft such as the KI-43 and the Spitfire, because you can pull crazy G's even if you're going super fast. But I soon spotted a dot right above my propeller. Maybe you can't see it, but I was then flying over above the dot to hopefully dive on him, because I saw he had also, well, he was the one that first shot down the F4F, and then another one had crashed. Another of my teammates had crashed over there. So, I mean, this guy, I knew, you know, was better than the average player this tier because he had actually gotten a kill. So I made sure to dive on him, making sure not to go too fast, because this plane does compress kind of bad at high speed. So I was just trying to bleed off some speed as I dove down. But I kind of misjudged this when I came out of the clouds. He was actually way to my right, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is awkward. I better turn." But he didn't see me, and I don't think he knew I was there this entire time. I was behind him, and I managed to catch up with him because I still had about 1,200 meters of altitude that I was able to use to dive. Now, right now, there are currently 3 planes left in the battle: the KI-45, an A6M2, and a KI-21, which I had seen earlier in the battle up at like 4,000 meters, and I wasn't able to get it. So I began to dive on this KI-45, and he's currently occupied because there's an A6M2 over by the gladiators, and I'm sure the A6M2 spotted those aircraft, so he was probably, tunnel vision trying to get over there to help out his teammate, and he did not know I was behind him this entire time. And I was able to put some shots into him, set him on fire, and kill him pretty fast. The 50 cal is certainly to work at the lower tiers, and even in the upper tiers, but you can't really snapshot like you can in this, this battle rating. So now there are only 2 aircraft left, the Ki-21, which I was currently looking for right there to see if I could spot the dot, but I was unable to do so. And this A6M2N, which is actually a fairly dangerous aircraft for its battle rating, because it does have 2 20mm guns. It's very maneuverable, and it's not as slow as like the F4F and stuff. It's not a particularly fast aircraft, but it can certainly handle its enemies pretty well. And as you can see, the Ki-21 just bombed our carrier fleet, so I now know where he was. And then, once again, just trying to put all my energy into the vertical to make sure I can dive on this 0. I do not want to get in a turn fight with this guy. Put some shots into him, but I don't manage to crit anything. Just pulling through the dive, pulling up again, and then, just making sure that no matter what he does, he can't really get his guns on target, and if he does, I will also be able to shoot him. So I'm trying to predict his movements, but he ends up turning back away, trying to dodge the Gladiator's bullets, and I'm able to take him out. I get a pilot snipe right there. Now there's only one guy left in the battle, and it is the Ki-21, so I'm just, trying to cruise. This was actually the last kill that I got this battle. The Ki-21 ended up running for the rest of the game. I was able to get kind of close to him, but I was not able to kill him because he still had quite a bit of altitude over me. And, after a while of chasing, I believe our team captured A, and their tickets began to go down. And our AIs began to kill the ground units, And I was just trying to tempt him, trying to convince him, oh, the game's about to end, you should definitely fight me. I mean, it's not like I already have 4 kills or anything, but, I wanted the 5th kill, to get my ace in a day because I'm a dirty little kill whore. But I ended up only getting 4 kills that battle. And I got, again, about 35, oh, wow, only, I was gonna say, I thought I got more than 20k lions, but, yeah. 4 kills, couple backups, actually, that was kind of cool, but, yeah, so, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, where I flew out the F4F. This has been the Condor, and, yeah, I was only able to get a kill, but, yeah, I will see you guys later.